Hello, beautiful souls who have recently found me and joined me on YouTube. Thank you for your subscription. It's really beautiful to be able to reach more people. And it's interesting because I was thinking about what it actually mean to have followers and what is the responsibility of that. Um, Actually, a good friend and I were talking about it. So there is a responsibility in having people follow you or listen to what you have to say. And I try to work with that in the most conscious and integrity filled way. That's why I don't just put out a lot of content for the sake of it, or not saying that other people do that, but I'm not someone who just feels like I need to create content all the time. My life is very busy with a baby and working with amazing beautiful clients. So I do get messages, and when I feel that it's time to put something out, then I do it. So I wanted to talk a little bit about a new star that has been birthed. So I got the message that for November a star is being born. So I kind of sat with that and I was like, is that personal to me? Is it the collective? And then obviously as well, not obviously, but for me, as things go, the more I meditate and I connect with my guidance team, the more information comes through. So I was shown that there is a star literally being born, it's a new ray, actually, essentially. And that is because the consciousness on our planet has shifted. So on Earth, a lot of people spoke about or have spoken about how what happens on Earth affects the rest of the galaxies and universes. And I just saw how prevalent and true that actually was, because when I was asking my guidance team around this star and this ray, they were then explaining to me that it is from the diamond bandwidth. So within a ray, you have like 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, you have octaves within ray. That carry a specific frequency, which is basically coded information. So this particular star and the ray, I was told, is called Oceanus. I do know part of my work is to bring new information. So I'm not really looking at stuff that's been channeled before, and I don't have a sort of tie or connection to the greats that came before. I have so much respect for them. Spirit was explaining to me that they were like candles, that brought through information at a time where it was really taboo, and it was a hard path for a lot of those channels. I'm talking about like Madame Blavatsky and beautiful souls like that who did a lot of. I haven't researched any of her work, just to be honest. I know of her. So there are people who came before and let us know about the archangels and about the ascended masters, essentially. So a lot of me and my work is about progressive and the new and what's coming in new. So there isn't like, I can't go and Google, is there a ray called Oceanus? Because I haven't, but I'm pretty sure there's nothing out there, because this is a new ray. And as I was saying, what I found was really interesting, which I wasn't aware of before, that each ray, the diamond ray, for example, has within it these bandwidths. And they sort of took me through a portal and showed me the nebulous, the center for where the diamond ray is held, and how this Oceanus beautiful star ray is now ready to come through deep in our galactic center. And I actually saw other beings like the blue beings and the Pleiadians and the beautiful Sirian beings, so many, being really excited because they've known about it, but it wasn't available in the physical for them either. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And this really makes sense why what we're doing on Earth does affect the rest of the galaxies and universes, because there's more to work with. More is released. So it was the consciousness that has risen within Gaia that allowed for this birthing to happen. And so just to share a little bit around what the ray kind of looked like, they kind of said to me like the sea. If you look at the sea, the water is like bluey green, but if you take a bit of the sea out, it's clear and see-through. So it's hard to describe these things. I mean, it's a color. It's colorless, and it's the best way I can relate it to is the blue green of the sea. The energy of this ray is support and stability, which is, I think, something we all would love to have personally in our lives, and we're really happy to have coming onto the planet. It ties into the blue beings, actually, and working with them and with a lot of the stargates and portals that are open over our planet at the moment. So I am busy still kind of downloading information around it, and I don't push with these things. I allow it to come as it needs to come. But I have incorporated the ray into the work I do in healing sessions. And this is what's so cool about working with light and rays and information. The more specified we get into each one, they carry codes and frequencies that help with very specific things. And that's so, for me, exciting. It's exciting when we get to work with new energies, and we're birthing through our consciousness new energies that are really here to support and that are affecting other star systems and the universe in general, in the galaxy. So I thought that was quite interesting, and I thought it was worth a share. That is really what I have so far regarding that and the energy that's coming through, as in plasma light. So something for us to for me, I thought I'd just bring it out into the consciousness. Maybe it resonates, and maybe some of you guys start working with it yourselves. Yeah. And then I also had quite an pertinent dream around Donald Trump. I was with him and an agreement, but I'm not going to get into that now. So I'm going to work a little bit more with my team around what that means before I bring any of that information out. I want to be a little bit more clear on it. And there's, some stuff I need to talk to some people about. But I just wanted to share with everybody regarding this new ray and that how exciting it is, because as we're going through this process and this time, it's really turbulent, and the shadow, as I've said before, is coming up and out, and it's can't hide in the darkness. And so that's within the individual as well as externally, what we're seeing play out in the collective. And it's hard to hold the frequency as well as not look away and understand the pain and suffering people are going through and souls are going through at this time. And so we can get really bogged down by the enormity of it all, because people are suffering on the ground. And it's the same in my country. There is a lot of poverty, there's a lot of violence, and it's daily. So we might not be in the news for war, but children are being abused here every day. And that's something, that's the underbelly that we don't always want to look at, but it is true, and it's happening. And we can't hold just this one side of the circle, or half moon, or whatever you want to call it. We have to, when I talk about actualization within self and we talk about oneness, we have to see and hold the whole perspective of what's going on. So when we do start to look at the darkness and the shadow and the pain and the suffering on our planet, it can feel really overwhelming. Like how when all these terrible things are happening, how are we raising, how is it raising the consciousness? How are we growing? It doesn't look great right now. But there is an organic element to even what's happening in the Middle East, as much as there is a dark infiltration and inversion and hijack. There is Stargate currently over Jerusalem. And with my beautiful membership, we did some healing work there, which was really beautiful. And everyone can do that. But then when I asked Spirit and I said these things, like, it's so dense on the planet. There's so much terrible thing. There's so many terrible things happening. I was reminded how it's so different now. The consciousness is so different. People like me can get online and talk about this, and people are interested. 20 years ago, and I'm small, I'm not small. Not many people know about me. But there's so many people who are able to confidently come out and authentically speak their truth and talk about these sort of quantum energetics and ascension protocols and information and beautiful beings, star beings, planetary beings, and it's not as taboo anymore. And just step back for a second and think about that. I go to places and my daughter's always like, Mom, please don't embarrass me. But I just randomly talk to people about what's going on the planet. And I do it in a really gentle, kind, kind of feeling out whether it's appropriate or not. But part of my mission is to speak my truth. And you'll be so surprised how people are actually really intrigued and interested and wanting to know. And I'm like, wow, that actually makes sense. And I've been feeling this call within me. So a message of something new that's coming in, and a message of hope that we are doing it. We are collectively doing it. And some people are doing it unconsciously, but the consciousness is rising. And so the shadow is rising. And we are birthing new things. As our consciousness expands and as Earth liberates through that expansion, we are birthing new rays. They were always there, but now they are birthing into physicality, which is really exciting. So the ray is Oceanus from the diamond bandwidth. All of the rays, like platinum ray, my guidance team works within the platinum bandwidth. They all have, there's more to come. They have octaves within them, rays within rays. So I'm sending everyone lots of love, and I hope you are having a beautiful day in the world wherever you are. And just take that little piece with you home, and remember that you are part of the birthing. So thank you for what you're doing. Sending lots of love. Hey.